Across the Lake task, Stage 2 in Lake Ribiere, Quebec. Hello there everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of SnowRunner here at OpenFed Gaming. I am the OpenFed. Today we are in the second stage of the Across the Lake task, which is part of the Northern Trails Travel Company contract. We're picking up 4 pallets of oil barrels here at the Oil Refinery in Harbor, Quebec, and we're going to try and deliver them to the west coast and the east coast in Lake Ribiere. We're driving our Avenhorn A15, and we got a 5-slot semi-trailer behind us, which is kind of nice to pull. I don't really mind it too much, and I'm not a favorite of pulling trailers, as you might know. However, we want to get all 4 of them over there because there is no oil barrels to be had in Lake Ribiere, so we got to bring them all the way from harbor. Now we're in the top right hand corner of the map, and we're going to travel along the top here on this snowy track path, get over through this little mud area and then cross a little ice area, and then we get to the port on the far left hand side of the map where the gateway is to Lake Ribiere. Now we've traveled this section of the map quite a few times because we've had to deliver stuff back and forth, but every time we go through here, you know, you always seem to find something that's a little bit different or reacts a little bit different, or you're using a different truck, and things don't always seem to go the same way whenever you go through any section on any map. So there's always new adventures to be had as we're pulling up out of that mud area. Now we normally keep it in the high range of the low gear when we're going through any area that's a little deep in snow or mud that puts a drag on the motor. We get a little bit more constant torque and speed out of that gear than if you put it into automatic, which keeps trying to shift down when it goes a little bit quicker. This is a little bit easier, plus it's probably a little bit more my speed. I don't like to go too fast because if you get into any kind of a situation where you're going to have a problem and you need to back out of it, if you go too fast, you might be into the problem a little bit too far to be able to back out. Now here in this area here, I normally go over this little rocky ridge. I don't like going over the ice in this front section here because I got horribly stuck there one time. So I go over the rocky edge here, and every time I try to do it a little bit different. Now I'm going to go extra wide to the left here because I've had my trailer get stuck on that very first rock as I take the turn around the corner. Now, like I said, every time you go through here, there's something different happens here. And now this should work without a hitch. I'm far enough over, but something gets stuck on something. Now I don't know if it's the stabilizer leg or if it's the front end of the trailer or what it is. Sometimes when you get stuck, if you keep pulling, it'll break it free, but when you look back, there is nothing that it could be stuck on. The trailer is in a great position. It's right over where it should be. Okay, well, we'll try and back it up and we'll try and go again. And it still just won't go. But it goes to show you that sometimes if you back up a little bit further and make a little bit more of an adjustment in the direction. Now I haven't really changed the placement of the trailer, and yet it goes. A mystery, but we've gotten through it. So we're going to travel along this little ridge, like I said, like normal, and then we'll go down to ice level because we know where the track is from here on to the port on the ice, that is. So we're just going to claw our way onto the ice. And another thing I always found interesting was the trailer seems to just follow you no matter where you go. Now the truck, if you take the truck and you drive it over the solid parts of the ice, you would think that the trailer would still fall into the ice where it breaks through. But I don't even really want to look backwards to see that. So we just keep going forwards. and keep our view looking that way so we can't tell if the trailer's falling through or not. Now this is the port where we're going to pass over to Lake Ribiere. Now we did this same route the other day, a video or two ago, I can't remember exactly when, but the only difference is that we were delivering only to the east coast in Lake Ribiere. Today we're delivering 2 pallets of oil barrels to the west coast and 2 pallets of oil barrels to the east coast. So a little bit different and a little bit of a different route once we get partially into Lake Ribiere, as you'll see. Now here's the gateway. It costs you $750 every time you want to go. Here we are in Lake Ribiere, $750 well spent, I believe, because we're not far away from the two locations we got to go to. And as you can see, the drop-off box for the west coast. The west coast is already on the screen. Now it's going to take a little bit of time to get there because we can't just drive straight to it. And there comes the east coast. So they're both the location markers are on the screen, and they're not that far away. We just got to kind of feed the truck over there and claw our way through some of this here deep snow and up these hills. With this here particular hill, stay a little bit to the right-hand side because there's a break in the ground structure up ahead here, which is a little bit more solid on the right than it is on the left. And good practice is whenever you see a tree on any track, road, or whatever, if it crosses your path, if you do have to go over some of it, try and get it near the crown. The further down from the crown that you drive over a tree, the more it will hold onto your truck or your trailer. And then you'll have to readjust and move it over so you can get by it. Now this little section there, again, another tree in the way, but we're going to bypass the track and we're going to go through this little gully and go straight towards the ice this way. We got to go to the ice anyhow, because if you follow the track it would curve back to the left just before the rocks there. This way is easier, you get to the ice quicker, you can stay to the left hand side and be relatively safe because it's not too bad there. It breaks a little bit, but that's okay. And then once you get about right here where you see the ice get a little bit darker, you got to come across to the right hand side and then back to the left again and just let that trailer follow you around. Same thing over here, you can see now you got to go back over a little bit to the left and make a little bit more of a circle towards the right, line up with a little bit of the small little hill there, and climb off the ice and onto the hill. What a great truck to drive though. It really performs well, lots of fuel, lots of power. I cannot really see any downside to this truck. The only thing that I wish that they would do is when you put a 2 cargo slot flat deck on the back, you can't have a crane. And I just wish that you'd be able to have a crane. And then you're pretty well set with this truck. Now you can see that the drop-off boxes are there, and you would think that the left one, which is the West Coast one, that you would have to go straight. But both locations are down below. So don't go straight back there. You got to come down this way, and you got to worry a little bit about the off track here, around here. Not too much. Not yet anyways. And just slowly slide down the hill here. Now there's our previous Avenhorn with the log accessory and the logging truck behind him, and he was delivering the logs over here in the first stage of this here particular task. Now once we get to these little trees here, these big trees on the left hand side, we got to make a sharp turn. You got to kind of double back towards the direction that we go. And now you got to worry a little bit more about your off track, because this is a tight spot. But I came to this area first, to the west coast, because it's a little bit better of a turnaround than that east coast, even though this one's not easy. Make sure you go extra wide here and line up for the bridge. Now when you get to the little turnaround here, you can go either the left or the right, and I chose to go to the left where the drop-off is, for the only reason that if I can get rid of 2 pallets of oil barrels, the truck will pull this trailer a little bit better, a little bit easier, and maybe make the turns a little bit easier, because there'll be less weight. So let's get rid of the first 2 as quickly as we can, because as you can see, that circle is not very big. You don't have a lot of room to get around. So all you can do is just try and stay as wide as possible. And you're going to have to jockey the truck back and forth a little bit. That's just all there is to it. Because otherwise you never get around. You'd have to go through that red house's living room to be able to make it around the corner. And we don't want to do that. As you can see, it's already dragging up beside that storage box. Well, we'll just take another bite at the turn. And we're going to make it all right on the second shot at it. And now we got to go over to the east coast and drop off the last 2 pallets of oil barrels. Just got to go back down across the bridge and hang a left. Once we get out of this little area. Just right down over here. And then there's 2 areas there. There's one right here where you got to go over a little bit of water. Now frozen water, it's all broken down. You could just go almost basically anywhere that you would like to go in this area, to the left or right, because I don't think you're going to drop through it any further than just break the ice. I think that's about all that happens there. Same thing as over here on this one. It's the same kind of a little bit of a crossing, a little bit of a stream going through, and then you just got to hang a left, and the east coast is just up the road here. We were here the other day delivering some wooden planks, and now we're gonna finish off the task by doing the second part of it by delivering the oil barrels just up here. What a great video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you back at overfed Gaming again real soon. If you don't want to miss out any of the upcoming videos, hit that subscribe button. Until then, you've been driving in an Avenhorn A15, delivering 2 barrels of oil pallets to the east coast and 2 pallets of oil barrels to the west coast. With me as your driver, the Overfed.